Howdy everybody in YouTube land. What we have here today is a Pioneer SA-8800. This is a receiver that I just picked up. Well, actually I should say receiver because it's not a receiver. It's an amplifier that I just picked up to replace the SX780, which you've probably seen in previous videos that I sold. I'm trying to figure out what my ideal stereo situation is, even though I don't really listen to it much anymore. And now that I sold the equipment off, I don't have it anymore. But I think I wanted to stay with the fluoroscan model, or the series, I should say. And I was going to get the 9800. The 9800's been on my list for years. Same with the 8800, but just 10 years ago, about 10 years ago, even longer, the stuff was still 200, 300 bucks. And I'm thinking, that's too expensive. I want to wait for the prices to come down. Well, that was a bad idea because the prices don't come down, they go up. So now these things sell for $700 or more when they're serviced, and I'm thinking, man, boy, did I make a mistake. And you don't really see these out in the wild much anymore. And the people that buy them are the collectors or the audiophile enthusiasts or whatever. I don't know. But anyways, I've been wanting one for a while. So I finally found one for a reasonable price. It's still more expensive than I wanted to pay, but it's completely untested, unrestored, as is. Take it or leave it condition, So, and I've never serviced one of these before. This is the first time I've ever seen one. Now, I've serviced a lot of Pioneer equipment. But the SA line is not something that I've worked on. I've also got an SX-3800 that I bought a couple years before this one that I thought I was going to use, but I wasn't feeling the 3800 so much. So I do still have it. I'm thinking about restoring it and putting it back on the market as a restored unit. I don't know yet. I don't need 20 different amplifiers. I just want one system. That's all I want. So the AM/FM radio is useless to me because there's nothing on the radio anymore that I listen to. I don't like modern top 40 radio anymore. It's just kind of moved off into the new generation beyond anything that I can comprehend. So that's not my style. Country's not my style. I'm more classic 70s, 80s, 90s type of music, whether it's pop or rock or dance, things like that. So you don't hear that stuff on the radio anymore, at least not where I live. So there's no point in even having an AM/FM radio. There's literally no point. So I decided to opt in for the amplifier instead. So basically I have to restore this thing because physically it's in great condition. There's not really a scratch or a blemish on this thing. It's in really good condition. See, there's the side cover. Although there's something concerning. Someone put these little weird looking veneer strips on there that don't even match. So there's that. I'm not a woodworker, so I can't fix that. It just looks like ass, but it is what it is. So electrically, this is what we got going on inside. And I took this capacitor out because I wanted to make sure this capacitor was good when I got my parts list together. Because I've already went through here and got all of my capacitors ordered up. And I've got the semiconductors for this power supply board ordered up. Because from my past experience and from what I was reading online, these power supplies are notorious for failure, especially the semiconductors. Because if you look, those power transistors right here are very, they're very, not only, it's kind of hard to see in the camera, but they've seen a lot of heat stress and there's some bluing on the metal. So they need changed. They're going to be noisy, and you change all the little ones in there too. So and plus all the capacitors. But the thing did power up, but previously before I got it, I'm not just going to randomly plug it in until I go through it all. But that's just how I do things. So I'm checking everything out. Everything seems to be good condition. This is just very loose, so I'm going to have to figure out how to fix that. But the volume knob, yeah, that's let's see, yeah, that's very, very loose. So I got to take that apart and fix that. And it's one of those goofball detinted potentiometers too, and I can't stand that. Everything seems to be okay. No, nothing loose there. That's not loose. Nope, nope, nope. None of those are loose. That's the only one that's really loose, and this is the second one that's loose. So, all right, let's take a closer inspection of everything. I don't know if the power amp section needs the typical transistor replacement. There's some heavy corrosion that I see on some of these transistors, so I might have to make a second parts order. I just wanted to get the preliminary parts first. But yeah, these definitely have seen better days, and I wanted to make sure these capacitors were good because they're Elna brand, and Japanese Elna are not known for being the greatest quality, at least now that they're 40 plus years old. So, and in all four of those caps, you're talking $100 and something worth of capacitors there. I mean, I want to make positive sure that these are good. And unfortunately, I can't test them. I tried them on my fluke meter and it goes out of range. I tried them on my B&K capacitor tester there and it goes out of range. And I tried this Chinese one there and it goes out of range. So the fact that all three of them are going out of range kind of tells me that it still has pretty close to the original capacity anyway. So I'm going to presume that those are good. I don't see any shorts. I need to drag out my ESR meter because this meter here is supposed to test ESR, but if it goes out of range with the capacitance, it will fail to test ESR, which in my opinion is bad firmware programming. But that's China for you. So let's see. I've seen cases where these potentiometers can go bad and they got to be replaced. I haven't personally run into them, and I've seen many of these Pioneer potentiometers. So I don't know that assessment yet. So let's see. Let's take a look on the underside. So here's the underside of the chassis. Let's get some light on the situation here. Oh yeah. Definitely. Let's move some wires out of the way. Definitely got some corrosion, probably from capacitor leakage. And let me tell you, the smell of this thing is pungent. It's kind of a mix between vintage electronics / dead fish from leaking capacitors / my grandma's basement. It's a very, very, very pungent smell. So what I'm looking for still has the original output transistors in there. These output transistors are nearly impossible to find. No surprise there. I don't see any bad solder joints on this board that I can tell. Let's take a look at the power supply board. Oh yeah. I need to get a better angle on my camera, but look at that corrosion. That's pretty bad. Let's see. Oh yeah. We got some bad solder joints on the capacitor, or the transistors too. Not capacitors. They got a bad solder joint here on there. So the power supply module is riddled with bad solder joints. So chances are this thing probably doesn't work, at least not properly. You can see where I pulled that capacitor out. Yeah, it's pretty bad, especially in this area here where the regulators are. So that's either water damage, where water has leaked in here, or that's capacitor leakage coming through the board. And this is a phenolic board, so it's not like it's non-porous, you know. But yeah, it's pretty bad. Yeah, especially these heat-producing transistors. There's some bad solder joints going on there. So there's the power supply module. Definitely going to need some work. See, here's the preamp board. I don't see anything out of the ordinary as far as physical damage. So Look at those old style film capacitors. Man, haven't seen those in years. Alright, so here's what we're going to do next. I'm going to flip this around and we're going to start testing the output transistors and make sure there's no shorts there. Alrighty then, meter's on. Let's see. Normally you wouldn't do this unless you knew the caps were discharged, which I already did that yesterday when I pulled the one capacitor out. Let's see. Nope. Good. Good. Oh yeah, it's the 2SA, that's why. Nope. Good. Good. Sorry, trying to do this single-handed. Let's flip the leads. Man, I wish these meter leads didn't have those bibs on them. Alright, we're good there. Let's see, come on. Isn't this just fun? Alright, all the output transistors are good. Oh, thank God, because those are impossible to find. So, I got all good output transistors. Move that out of the way from back into this little holder for now. Alright, so now that I got this spun around, let's take a look at the solder joints in the drivers. Stage here. I don't see anything out of the ordinary. No, there's a bit of corrosion. See the copper eating away there, that little splotch. That's probably from leaking capacitors or something. Yeah, it's really bad through the edge of the board. Man, I had to clean that up. That's gonna be fun. So this thing definitely is in dire need of capacitors. Most of the time, I'm not one of those guys to where, you know, just change all the caps. It'll fix everything. Just change all the caps. It'll fix everything. No. That's not true. That's only true when it's a known issue. When you visibly see damage, like leaking, corrosion, stuff like that. Or they test bad, things like that. Or for a certain age, certain make that are known to cause problems. But shotgunning the caps won't necessarily fix any issue that's underlying that may have been present before all the capacitors started going bad. So once I change all the caps, there's probably other things I'm going to have to attend to, potentially, such as dirty controls, such as, the corrosions over here, the bad transistors that are on this board, things like that. So, yeah, and once I handle all that, there could still be a fault in here somewhere that was there originally that made the thing get shelved. You just never know. And that's with any electronic device. Oh yeah, that one's really bad. Oh yeah, see that nice ring crack right there? Oh yeah. So this, things like this is the reason why this thing got shelved. It probably had an intermittent issue, came and went with heat usage, whatever, and it was shelved, and then eventually all the capacitors started leaking. So just goes to show you, just recapping something is not going to always necessarily fix it. So anyways, that's all I have for today, because now I got to wait for parts to come in so I can start working on these boards. Not to mention, this is an older design. It's got these stupid wire wrap, tie wrap boards that are impossible to get out of there. This board's going to be fun to get out because all those capacitors are bolted down. But it's going to have to come out. It's going to have to. So I just need to figure out how I'm going to get that out. But I'll worry about that then. For now, though, I will leave this video off for here. And we will pick back up on this again when we get into restoring it. In the meantime, thank you for watching. Feel free to leave a comment if you have one.